Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Murphy's Multiverse interview with the wonderful and talented Michaela Jill Murphy, also known as Jessie Flower. Um, those of you watching this may best know Michaela as the voice of Toph in the very popular and amazing and one of my all-time favorite shows, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Always the best. But let's start with the main reason why you're here today. You have a fun new challenge going on a cool website called Hypespace. So I figured we might as well begin with me asking you, what is the challenge? Talk about it.
Yeah. So Hypespace is a new app. It's a new social media platform, and it's primarily challenge based. So the whole platform is about either creating a challenge or submitting videos to challenges that are already on there. And it's a very positive and safe space. So you can only clap on videos. There are no like downvotes and comments. There are no comments even. So you can only like clap on things. So it's kind of a family friendly, keeping out, online bullying kind of platform. And yeah, everything is a video challenge. So I joined with Hypespace when they just opened, they just launched like a month ago. So I started off with a fun little bending challenge because I figured, Avatar fans would probably like, maybe interacting with some Avatar themed challenges. So that's why I decided to kind of partner with them. It seemed like a fun platform. And so yeah, the first challenge was a bending challenge, which that's up to your imagination. There are no trends or guidelines or anything. It's purely what you take from it. So that was a super fun one to kick it off with. And then this week, actually, since it's Halloween, we have like a spooky spirit challenge going on. So you can just share your favorite decorations or what your costume is, maybe like a carved pumpkin. It can be Avatar related, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, I had like spooky little nails going on. Yeah, and it's just a fun little like share your, spooky spirit side of things. And then it's through Halloween. And then it's a couple days of like audience-based voting or clapping on the videos. And then first place winner gets $200, and then second place gets 100, and third place gets 50. So you can just win some cash prizes, get some positive, feedback just by sharing kind of your Halloween vibes. So yeah, that's what's live right now on Hypespace.
That is amazing. I'm notorious for forgetting to come up with a Halloween costume until like the day of.
Yes.
So this is a really good motivation for anyone who wants to participate to start thinking of stuff now and submit it. And you could win some cool prizes and be part of some cool things. So this is something that you seem really passionate and excited about, which I think is really cool. Is it something you plan on continuing to do for a little while?
Yeah, I have to kind of be careful with what I say yes to this year. It's been kind of crazy with all the love that Avatar has received. So there's been lots of like, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Want to do this? And this just seemed a little different, but also fitting for kind of connecting fans with me / with other Avatar fans. And so I'm hoping to have like an active challenge every month. That's kind of my goal. And then maybe we'll have little flash challenges here and there, but there's always something that like you can do to kind of upload and be involved instead of just like, doom scrolling on an app and liking something or commenting and it's off of your own creativity instead of following like a trending dance or something, which is all fun and that has its place. But this one is very much like, what's in your brain? Let's see what you come up with kind of thing, without it being too much pressure, because I feel like so many things are like edited and concocted and like you get like full on movies on social media now. And this one is very much like 30 seconds or less, just like something that you think is fun. And there's like no downside because it's free to download and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, prepping for this was the first time I had heard of Hypespace, and like you said, it is pretty new and fresh out there. But having looked into it, it does seem like a very positive atmosphere, which is something I think, especially with everything that's been going on the past few years. And like you said, there's a lot of like fakeness going on social media, and Avatar fans are so creative and inspired, and I feel like there's so much cool stuff that's gonna come out of this. Do you, speaking of Halloween costumes, are you also participating? Are you posting
So here's my hesitation. Since the videos are audience based, I've been holding from participating in my own because if I end up getting more claps than somebody else, that defeats the purpose because I want you to submit.
That's fair.
That would happen, but I try to include like fun things in the description video. So on the app, when you click on the challenge, there's a little video explaining like, you know, what the theme is about and all that stuff. So I just try to like include fun things in my explainer videos. I'm actually going to be at a convention this weekend, kind of leading up to Halloween. So I'm going to bring my Toph cosplay, and maybe I'll bring like my penguin onesie. I have a little bat zipper. I have a whole like bin of costumes because I'm an actress. I feel like this is normal.
No, it's totally normal. Growing up, I used to play Guitar Hero, and I had like a bin of wigs. Like I didn't realize it wasn't normal until people would come over and say, why are you wearing a fake mullet while you play guitar? And I was like, because you have to get into character. So I fully understand. Yeah, why are you not?
Yeah,
they
sorry.
laugh, but then they all put wigs on. So, well, that's great to hear. What convention are you going to be at this weekend for Halloween's convention, Spooky Times?
It's called Anime Texas. It's in Woodlands, Texas.
Perfect.
So there you go. And then I've got
like it.
4 more this year. I've got Fanboy Expo in Indianapolis, and then Anime Pasadena in Pasadena, and then there's one in Dallas, Anime Dallas, and then Cosplay Expo in Vegas. So
wow, that's a busy year.
Exciting. Yeah, it's been a crazy year.
Yeah, that is 100% true. You did kind of mention earlier, sort of switching gears here to Avatar stuff. Recently, there was the formation of Avatar Studios, and you know, there's a whole bunch of new stuff coming out that takes place in this world, which I think is really exciting for fans and people who've loved it and have been waiting for that for a really long time. Is that something? I mean, I imagine you're at least following it as a fan. Is that something that you know you're hoping to jump onto? Is there any sort of communication between you and Avatar Studios?
Yeah, not really. I can say that they definitely want to focus on casting more appropriately, or as appropriately as they can moving forward. And I am very Irish and white. So I probably will not be involved in any projects in the future, but I would, you know, like you said, I'm following as a fan. I'd love to be invited to anything, to, you know, a screening, or maybe, you know, just to watch it with other people who are in it, or old castmates, you know, just because that would be cool. But yeah, I'm not expecting to be really a part of it. If they ask, by all means, I will be right here. But yeah, that's probably going to be kind of a totally new people for anybody that comes down the pike for new projects.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing. So surprised to hear the name Michaela Jill Murphy is Irish. That's
who
wild. Who would have thought of these things? Murphy, what? Either way, though, I imagine, do you have any other projects coming up that you would like to talk about or kind of plug while I have you here? Because, like I said, you are very talented, so I would imagine there's something coming down the pipeline.
You're very sweet. Thank you. I need to hire you as my PR person. So spread good things about me. But no, I did just finish up a video game. I can't tell you what the name is yet, but it's being, you know, edited and kind of finished up at the moment. So I think it's going to come out in the spring, maybe March, early spring. And I'm excited about that because that was kind of my first big project since Avatar. I took a break from professional acting for a bit to go to college. I thought I was going to be a doctor. I found screenwriting. I went to New York, did musical theater, blah, blah, blah. And then COVID hit, and I kind of came back to LA and reconnected with voiceover a little bit. And so this was like my first kind of big lead kind of role since Avatar. So I'm very grateful that they wanted to use me. I was like, wow, it's been, you know, such a long time since I had to go in consistently to the studio. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm very, very grateful. And it's a lot of fun. The game, I can't obviously say it, but it's very fun. And they talked about like maybe trying to make it into a series at some point because it's a very story-driven game. So I was like, yeah, do that.
Yes, I hope they do.
Anyway, so it's a lot of fun. But that aside, I did mention I majored in screenwriting in college. I'm working on a TV pilot, and I've never pitched a pilot or pitched a show before, but I'm trying to learn and figure out kind of the yeah, politics and semantics of all of that, so that
Right.
come maybe February, I can start trying to pitch to people, maybe have it made or just sell
Awesome.
it. I don't know how that works, so that's kind of another project that I'm working on, but that one's not as fun to share on social media and you can't really watch anywhere yet. But yeah, that's something else that I'm working on. And
Not as fun to share, but I think equally as cool and important. Writing is not easy, so I definitely applaud you for giving it a shot and trying to figure all of that out. Also, definitely will be on the lookout for that game. I love a good story-driven game. That's always been my thing, so I'm excited. I'll keep an ear out. Well, another question I wanted to ask you while I had you here. Well, there's this game that I love to play, and I think a million bajillion Avatar fans love to play this game as well, which is simply when you go up to your friends and you ask them, hey, what bender do you think that you would be in the real world?
Yes.
Obviously, you played Toph, who is famously an Earthbender. But my question to you is, just because I'm dying to know, do you think that you're an Earthbender in real life, or do you think that you identify more with one of the other three elements?
Yeah. I'm a mix. I tell people I'm a mix of earth and fire. So I guess technically I'm a lava bender if I have to pick, I guess, a sub bending. But it's hard for me to pick between the two, because I think I probably am a little bit more earth if you're really forcing me, but like it's torn. I know for sure and for certain I am not air or water. That's very, and yeah, those ones are off the table for sure. But between the more stubborn elements, for sure, are the ones that I relate to.
Yeah, I know for a fact I'm not air. I'm also pretty sure I'm not fire. I always said I wanted to be an earthbender, but I think now I'm leaning towards water, just in terms of who I think I am. But Toph was such a big part of why I always wanted to be an earthbender, because the bending
she
is
makes
just
it seem so cool
so
and
cool.
so easy, and
so
she's
cool
so
and easy. Yeah, that's amazing. So I was also curious. You said you've been keeping up as a fan. So have you been reading any of the like FCE, like Chronicles of the Avatar books at all?
Yeah, so like the like Dark Horse comics that come out, like all that stuff. Is that what you're talking about? Or
Yeah, that, and then like there are the books that just recently came out with like Kyoshi and
the Kyoshi Warrior one. Yeah, so
yes.
I'm behind, as I am on watching many things. There are many shows and movies that I also am behind on, but I've only read about 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 of the comics. I don't think I've read any of the official, like the books, the book books. I've only done like The Promise, The Rift, and then I did read Top Beifong's Metal Bending Academy. I feel like that one I needed to read.
Of course.
Yeah, and I think Suki Alone. So like I've read a couple in there, but I've not consumed the whole bit. I also was late to Korra. I just finished season 4, like in May of this year or something. It took me a while, and I didn't even watch all of Korra until last year, when I was like, I need to just watch it. And then I made it to season 3, and then life got crazy and I moved, and then I just didn't make it to season 4 until this year. So then we finally finished. But yeah, I'm behind.
I was gonna say it has been an understandably like insane couple of years. You're in Korra, right?
Yeah, as I play my daughter. I voiced my own daughter in a flashback scene. Young Soo-yin, when the backstory is told about getting Lin's scar, that whole little sequence. Yeah, I'm young Soo-yin in that little
amazing
moment.
Yeah, I was also late to Korra. I believe I watched it at the very beginning of the pandemic and couldn't believe that I ever hesitated to get into it, because it is really, really amazing. Yeah, that's really cool that they brought you back though. What was it like? Did they contact you and say like, hey, we would like you to come back for Korra, just as like a little like Easter egg sort of?
Very much that. They were just like, hey, can you send over a voice sample just to make sure you like sound like we think you sound? And then
you're a child.
You're gonna come do this one scene. I mean, I was still in high school. I very much I feel like people forget like the time that's passed, and I'm like, how old do you think I am? But I was, because I was 12 and 13 when I voiced Toph. Like, oh, when you came back for Korra, did you voice like older Toph? I was like, bro, I was only 15. Like, I did not voice older anybody.
Yeah.
15-year-old me, yeah. It's very similar to me now when I'm talking in like a higher register. That was my voice. So I was like, maybe I could have pretended to be like older Toph and good to see you again, Twinkle Toes. But I don't know if that would have gone over very well. So yeah, they very much like, yeah, just send us a sample, but also can you come in next Tuesday or whatever.
That's awesome. You know what's funny is like I could make a joke about people not knowing how old you were, but for some reason that didn't click with me either until I was like setting this up and I realized, oh right, that would make sense. Like it's not like she was like an older, just like pitching the voice up. Is it like a lot harder now for you to like pitch your voice up like that? I mean, you just did Old Lady Toph. I feel like that looks really natural to just like bring it right up like that.
Yeah, I actually overdo it sometimes. Because I was so paranoid about sounding too old that I made her too squeaky. Like, I can just go into a voice like this, like no problem. But that's way obviously not real at all. And so I would try to go to like my 12-year-old self, which is really just sitting like here. And I would make her a little bit too high pitched. And I started getting like comments online when I would post it. They're like, you don't sound like, you just sound like a high-pitched little girl. And I was like, I was like, I'm overdoing it. Sorry, I just don't want to sound old. Or I guess older than a 12-year-old. So anyway, I've like scaled it back a little bit. It's not hard for me, but it's harder for me to just not go into squeaky mode. And to just make sure I'm kind of doing my 12-year-old me, which is just kind of sitting here as opposed to making her super like up here like this and just keeping it more chill. So it's not hard for me, but also I sang and sing and I've kept like my range kind of here as I've gotten older. So it's still around.
I know you can't talk about the game, but did they make you do did you have to pitch up for that too, or did you get to use your normal voice?
Oh right. No. I was a sassy, I was really squeaky like this, but I had to be realistic. Like it was a lot of fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I do voices in the shower sometimes, but it's nothing, you know, as one does.
That's where it all starts.
That is just talking to yourself like a maniac, and then suddenly you get paid to do it, and that's amazing.
That is a lot of my life. Lots of random noises and sounds just all day.
I mean, that sounds like the dream to me. Well, thank you so much for popping in and talking with me. It was wonderful. Delightful. Everybody, you heard it here. Please go check out Michaela's Hypespace challenge. It sounds like it's going to be a blast. It's a great reason to get into the Halloween spirit now and not the day of, like some of us do.
Although it is technically open till the end of Halloween Day, so technically you could wait till the day of. But
you technically could, but get those mullet wigs ready because I think that that's going to be the winner. Yeah, amazing. Well, again, thank you for being here, and I really appreciate it. Anything else that you would like to drop on the people before you get out of here?
Just a reminder that it is free to download. Hypespace with 2 Y's, HYYPE space. It's free on the App Store or Google Play. And you can find me, my profile at Michaela Mostly. That's the same handle as my Instagram. It's Michael with an A on the end, and then Mostly, MOSTLY. I'm also on TikTok, Michaela Jill Murphy, if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, hopefully we get to see lots of fun, spooky challenges uploaded this week.
Perfect. Well, goodbye, everybody, and thank you again, Michaela.
Of course. Keep your knees high, Twinkle Toes.